Hello again, Tim. I have to confess I'm a little mystified by this spiritual journey you seem to have decided to set yourself on. I know that for myself these questions were all settled like 30 years ago, and I can't imagine anything happening that would alter my basic core beliefs and assumptions about religion, the world, and why we're here and all of that. It's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around the idea of somebody my age starting off on this journey. I have actually read more of the Qu'ran than I've read of the Bible, but I know the Bible a lot better than I know the Qu'ran because of the simple fact that I've had it beaten into me since I was like 3 years old, whether I liked it or not. So I'm not one of these people who you can read off a verse and I will say Psalms 13:27 or whatever. I'm not one of those, but it would be pretty hard for you to come up with a quotation from the Bible that I would not recognize as being from the Bible and approximately what it was about, the context of it, because I've just been exposed culturally to so much of that. And I'm not just talking about my parents either, I'm talking about the society as a whole. The Qu'ran, I don't think I want to say anything more than I've said in comments about the Qu'ran. I didn't finish it. I found it was getting just too repetitive. And if you're not going to accept the Judeo-Christian Bible, I don't see how you can accept the Qu'ran, because one of the assumptions in the Qu'ran is that you accept the Judeo-Christian Bible with the alterations that, or clarifications, that Muhammad made through his revelation. Anyway, it would seem to me that if you're going to take a rational approach to this, and I'm not sure there is a rational approach, in my experience, let me put it this way, in my experience, people who take a rational approach to this journey generally tend to end up with some form of Buddhism. And that can lead you into 3 different directions. I am of the opinion that an understanding of Buddhism by anyone who's rational will then lead to plain out atheism, or at least agnosticism, in the sense of, I'm like me, I'm not here to convince anybody to be a non-believer. I just choose to be one myself, and I don't claim that I know for a fact that there is no God. I simply think the burden of proof is on somebody who does claim to know for a fact that there is a God. I have never seen any evidence firsthand that there is any super powerful creator being anywhere in my life or anyone else's life. I just haven't seen it. Things that can't be explained, yeah. But that does not a priori mean that there's a creator God. Some things that can't be explained eventually are. Here's something that, if you can manage to do it, I think is worth doing. And this sort of comes from Buddhism. And I also want to not get the Buddhists upset with me either. Buddhism, of course, does not necessarily lead everybody to atheism. There are Buddhists who very much believe in God or gods. There are Buddhists who will tell you that you can be a Christian and be a Buddhist. I don't think there are many Christians who will tell you that you can be a Christian and a Buddhist, but there are Buddhists who can tell you you can be a Christian and a Buddhist. So, having straightened that out, imagine, if you will, that you are God. Kind of hard to wrap your head around, but think about it. Imagine you have total unlimited power over space, time, matter, and energy. Anything you want is instantly yours if you want it. Anything you want happens at any time, in any place, throughout the universe. Imagine yourself having that power. And imagine not knowing who created you unless it was yourself. Which gets us into another big problem with God. Now, try to imagine what is the purpose of this all-powerful creature. What reason would this all-powerful creature have to continue to exist? I would say none. Once you can do anything, anytime, anywhere, what is there to live for? Really. There's absolutely no struggling. There's nothing to strive for. You know everything. There's nothing to learn. And you always had nothing to learn because you're eternal. It's just, it's kind of a senseless existence from the point of view of God. And of course there are some simplistic people who would say, well, that's why we're here, is to give him something to play with. I don't think so. Anyway, I'm not sure where you are headed with this spiritual journey, but I certainly wish you luck with it. It'd be interesting if you stay on YouTube and keep us up to date to see where you end up. See you later.